So let's actually write some equations for learning objective C. Here's what it says. The relation described by x squared plus y squared is 25, and we have the graph here down below. So it's an equation of a circle, by the way. If you take a look at the circle, it's a radius of 5. So what they've done is 5 squared. What they want us to do is find the images on the graph under this particular translation. So in words, what are they going to do? Well, they're going to take the x's and times them by 2. So is that a horizontal or vertical stretch? Well, this is a horizontal. And then is it a stretch or a shrink? Well, it's bigger, so it's a horizontal stretch, and then 2 times is what they're going to do for that. So what we're going to see is this circle is actually going to go from being this circle, this is going to get stretched out this way and this way, to more of an oval shape. So let's actually take some of the ordered pairs and let's just focus on quadrant 1, see where they go, map it, and get the new sketch. So what they did is they took the ordered pair 5, 0, and they put it right here. Now they used the ordered pair rule 2x and y, and they got 10, 0. Well, take 2x, so they took the x of 5 and times it by 2 and got 10. Here it says just take the y, so they took the y. So that means this new spot is actually going to land, if we extend this out, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if we make that 10, that's where this one ordered pair is going to move to. Well, let's see where these next 3 move to. Let's take the ordered pair 4, 3. So I'm going to jot down 4, 3. Where does that go to? Well, use the ordered pair rule 2x times y. So I'm going to take 4, put it in here for x. So that's going to move to 8. I take the y and put it in here, stays the same. So that goes to 8, 3. So let's plot 8, 3. It's going to go right there. Let's take the ordered pair 3, 4. Okay. Well, 3, 4 is going to be here. If I put 3 in for x, it's going to go to 6 and then 4. So 6, 4 is right here. Then the last one, let's take 0, 5. If I put 0 in here for x, 2 times 0 is 0. If I put 5 in for y, it's still 5. So I have the ordered pair 0, 5. So the first quadrant on this shape is going to be right there. This is actually just going to be mimicked. We're going to end up seeing this go here. This guy's going to stretch out further, and then we'll get the other half of this oval or ellipse on the left-hand side. Now, let's write the equation. Okay, so this is the ordered pair rule. Here's the actual parent function. All you need to do is take the parent function and you put everything in backwards. So to the x, you need to divide by 2. Now be careful, if you write it like that, that's actually wrong. It's to the x, so you have to put that in parentheses. If you were to simplify this, that squared would go to the x and the 2, so then would it become x squared over 4, by the way, if you wanted to write it as a simplified version. Let's look at this example. And this one's interesting because our pre-image is not the parent function of absolute value. The pre-image is actually this blue graph that we see. It's the absolute value of x minus 4. So it's in a different spot, and that's fine. So be careful. This is the graph we're always starting with. This is our pre-image, not parent function. This is the one we'll end up changing mathematically. Well, I want to figure out what's happening to this graph. So I have to state the scale change rule. Well, scale change rule, we like to do S and then XY instead of the T for translation. And I just want to kind of see what's happening. Well, if I look at the X's, it went from 6 to 6, so no change on the X. So I'm just going to say no change. Well, on the Y's, they went from 2 to negative 4. Well, 2 to negative 4 looks like they times it by negative 2. So it's a negative 2y. Okay, to write the equation, pretty easy. We're just going to take the original function, which happens to be this guy here. And I'm going to actually go to the y, and instead of multiplying it by negative 2, I divide it. Now to clean up the equation, what I would do is I would actually move this negative 2 over. I'd multiply both sides by negative 2, and I would end up with y equals, let's put that negative 2 or coefficient first, this right here. So this is actually the equation of that red graph. Keep in mind, you can use the Algebra 2 shortcut. Instead of taking the y and going to the actual letter and then cleaning it up and moving it over, you can do the same thing on the one on the side that's all cleaned up. So you can multiply it by -2 and just put it right there if you want to.